Hi guys, well the latest job in the never-ending list of jobs to do in getting Tondaleo ready for the trip to Tassie is to refurbish her windlass. Now it's a manual one, it's a S-L Hyspeed, which the S and the L stands for Simpson Lawrence, and I've just completed it and changed colour to black, which is pretty cool. And so if you've got a similar type setup and you want to learn what goes on inside them, keep watching. Hey Jerry, what you doing, mate? You come say hello in the shed, have you? Good boy, Jerry. Alright, so this is pretty well done, this platform. I'll be taking it down to the boat tomorrow. You gonna give me a hand down there, Jerry? No, you're not, are you? Okay, good boy. Good boy, don't need the camera. Yeah, so hopefully I'll get that down and onto the boat in readiness for the brackets. The brackets still aren't ready, so the next project is getting onto this, which is the original windlass off the boat. And as you can see, it's in pretty sad state of affairs. We do have movement, which is good. We do have a very rusty grease nipple, which is bad. And this is seized completely. So the first thing I'm going to do is strip it down, get all the paint off. I normally find with stuff that looks like it's seized like that, I definitely can't get a spanner on it very well. So vice grip, and then maybe just try and tighten it a little first, which is hard to do with one hand, but see if we can get a turn. Just enough to sort of, I've got to find a way to support this. Just enough to crack it. There we go, I think I got that in. You don't want to go too far, and then push it back, and hopefully we've got it. Come on. Yes. Okay. All right, well I managed to get the brake material off. It's got a like a roll pin goes all the way through, so you just have to punch that out, which isn't easy, but that's out. And now I'm trying to take the shaft through, so then I can just work on this with the shaft and not have all of this in the way. So we're sort of getting there, slowly but surely. I think I might be able to just bash it down with a bit of wood, and it should just pop up, hopefully. Oh, you know what I probably should do? take this casing off and make sure there's no, because there's a bunch of cogs and things in there. Yeah. That probably doesn't want to go anywhere. Silly me. Yeah. It's like I'm just trying to pull this through, but there's going to be cogs and drives and... all right, keep going. Why is every nut on this thing a different size? Yep. Oh, there's there's still some oil in it. Bloody hell. Might get that out before I do anything else. Oh, healthy looking oil. Not much of it. Yuck. To make sure the girls don't get it mistaken for some hair lotion. Let's take this off and just see what's going on inside here. So I'm having a hard time getting that other side off. Ah, yes, thank you. I'm pretty sure this will be pretty easy. Just goes through into the oil and just picks it up and splashes it around. That's pretty cool. If only I could get this off. Because I don't think, no matter how much I try, I don't think I'm going to get that out. Everything else seems alright in there. All the teeth are good. I'll clean all the oil out and get fresh oil in there. And I'll leave it, just paint it up, put it back. There's nothing wrong with it. Alright, that's the plan. So this is far from ideal, but I've bought a like a bearing splitter kit, which doesn't really fit either, and it's pulling on the worst part of the housing here. I've got the old Kero and ATF fluid mixture in there, and this will be my last attempt to try and get this off, and if it doesn't come, I have to buy longer rods, which means I'm right at the end of this yoke, which is another thing that I won't be able to put too much pressure on. But you never know, it might just, because it's pulling it from the right direction, it might just crack it. Either that or something's going to go flying. I'll put a bit of tension on it and then just let it sit, sort of thing. Normally with these things, once they come off quite easily. So let's see. I really don't want to eat into the fitting too much, but anyway, let's just keep going. Hope for the best. It's a little bit tighter now. Normally you sort of hear a bit of a crack and then it just comes. In a way it's good because the rod here is sitting there on it, so it is getting reasonably well supported. Just keep going. It's either going to lift it off or it's going to snap this outer section, which we don't really want. Wouldn't it be nice to just hear a crack and watch all that fluid just run straight down the sides, then you know you'd have it. Alright, I'm going to reset down here if I can. Put these nuts under it if I can get it up that a little bit more. Oh, you know, I reckon it might be just coming, I think. Just look, I can nearly get these nuts under it. It's not, it's only pulling them from the top. Alright, I'll reset. It'd be much better to pull from under here, I think. Alright, well I tried to put it down there but it didn't work, so we'll carry on. I'll reset it and we'll just slowly put pressure on it. I might even leave it overnight. Just come out and give it a half a turn every now and then. I'll just see how we go. It's right at the edge of everything here, like that's just on the edges. It's not ideal. I think what you can do sometimes is put that pressure on like that and then just give it a bit of a tap here. Might just sort of send a bit of a vibration down through the shaft. I'm just going to leave that loaded up and let the fluid try and get down. Just maybe come back and tweak it every now and then. I can still try and get paint off while I'm here. We'll see how we go. So I'm sure it's going up. I can't see any fluid coming out, but I hope that camera can pick it up. The only thing that's moving is the capstan or whatever it's called. Here we go, that's got to. Hey, look at that, it's coming. That's coming. Woo-hoo-hoo! Brought the woodruff pin with it as it slid up the shaft, I reckon. Probably why it didn't just sort of come loose. Anyway, I'm going to put this down. Feels like it's all going to come my way in a second. Woohoo! There we go. Thank you. That was a job and a half. The one that really did need doing. Now I've got to try and get that woodruff pin out. But that is great. Now I can really sort of get a good coat of paint on it and get good access to everything. Lube it up so that it won't be such a problem next time. You little ripper. Well, I'm glad I persevered there, and that kit cost me a bit, but I don't have one. I've got every other type of bearing puller down in Tassie. Unfortunately, I'm not down in Tassie, so I thought, well, I don't have one of these types of bearing splitters, so, you know, tools are free, aren't they? Well, that is a win, and I am so excited about that. I really didn't want to respray it without getting this off, because I didn't want to not be able to get in here So that is fantastic. I'll be able to clean that up. And it's another win for this old brew. I don't often use it. I hardly ever use it because you've always got something else. Like I'd let it sit in this stuff overnight. And sometimes I use inox and things like that. Lanolin's always good. But every now and then when you need something to get into, lubricate and penetrate into something, 50-50 Kero and transmission fluid, ATF. It just works. I should use it more often. It's like the last resort. It's always the last resort. But anyway, I'll give those mating surfaces a real good clean up. Give the whole thing a good clean up, which is what I can start doing now. I'll put paint stripper on it, the Savo, and that'll probably be the day. And then we'll get into it tomorrow with the little wire wheels just to knock anything else off. Alright, well I've hit it with a few different coats of some old paint stripper and it's getting it off, and I think now's the time to get the old wire wheel into action because I just did a little test for it. Looks like it's going to do a good job, so we'll do that. Alright, well, I have applied liberal amounts of WD-40 to this now because it's had all the paint stripped off it, it's had the oil removed, then it's been washed with fresh water twice, and then a metho dunking to help break down any residual moisture that might have been in there. And now just some WD-40 before I close it up and spray paint it, just to preserve those metal surfaces until we get oil back in there. Very simple mechanism. And that's down there is the little oil journal right down the bottom there where it comes in. So, yeah. Cool, hey.
That one's actually just extra hard.
So I decided to put a second coat on, so I bought another can, and then of course we got some rain, so there's a few little raindrops on it, but at least it's got a very thick coating of this paint on it now. And I'll try and find a stainless or a brass one at some point. But anyway, time to start putting it back together. I'm not going to worry about cleaning up the gypsy or any of that sort of stuff. That's all fine. I kind of like that old look about it. And I went and got a bit of oil. It said 80 SAE, and this thing says it's suitable for 80 SAE somewhere here. May also be used where SAE 80 and 80W50 oils are recommended. How's that line up? Pretty good. Right. Just off. I reckon that pin will still go in though. I might be able to line it up with a screwdriver. Half a turn or 2 turns and we're in. Oh, that's it, that's full. That's not going anywhere. Actually need the pawl to get the thing off again. So that's housed nicely. Where are we? Come around. Yeah, I might just see. I've got a screwdriver here that's pretty close. I might just see if I can wiggle it this way a tiny bit. Oh, easy. The thinnest smear on here. That's the skinniest end, and it's got a little point to it, so that's handy. Come on, grease. Right, there we go. Just give it a go. Don't hit your nice new paint job, Dave. Oop, all the way. Looks good. How are we looking on the other side? Looks good too. It's tucked in there nicely, and that's tucked in there nicely. A little bit of grease won't hurt. Alright, well, being that the whole concept of this grease nipple, it's pretty funny really. So this grease nipple provides grease down the guts of this, which is supposed to come out here and here. When really, all you really need to do would be to take that off, pull that off, put a bit of grease there, put it back. Like, I don't know, but I am going to do it. I am going to apply the grease and fill it full of marine grade white grease. It's some sort of a, I think it's called a lithium polymer based grease or something. So we'll give it a go. And geez, it'd be funny if I looked over the other side and it was just dripping out the gasket. I got a lot of confidence in that cork rubber. 3.2 mils or something, wasn't it? Thick. Even if I've got to tighten them up a little bit, I'm sure it'll hold. Feels a bit like I'm halfway through this bottle, so must be nearly there. Can't see it yet. Once again, I don't want to fill it so it's right at the top of the lip of this thing, because if you go to check it on a boat and there's a bit of swell, it'll dribble out, and then you got oil on the deck at the front of your boat. Not a spot to have a slippery surface. Am I looking? Is that it there? Yeah, that's at the bottom. I think that'll do. So I'll just give it a real good roll around, make sure that oil goes everywhere. Hopefully I won't get too many leaks around any of those gaskets or seals.